Episode 41 of the Digimon Adventure reboot gives us our deepest dive yet into the lives of Matt and T.K, aka Yamato and Takeru, before the start of the series, before their parents' separation. We also get the return of an angelic Digimon, which has me wondering if it's a permanent return, and if so, how will this impact the use of Pegasusmon and inevitably WereGarurumon? First off, if you're new here, welcome. Do me a favor and like and subscribe the video at the end if you enjoyed your stay. Mon Park in the fog sees Matt and T.K split off from the main group in an effort to find some food while the others set up camp for the night. The two brothers find themselves in an abandoned theme park in the digital world, and it serves as this catalyst to a handful of flashbacks throughout to simpler times. It turns out theme parks play a pretty important role in the brothers' memories, as one of their standout memories from when their family was still together was this trip to a similar looking theme park. We see little Matt and littler TK make their way through the park with their parents. It's small, but we get to see Matt's tough boy facade crack a bit when we learn he was too afraid to go into the haunted house, and his family avoided this for his sake. Flashing forward and into the current timeline, the brothers get separated, trying to stop this real dirtbag of a Digimon, Opossumon. Matt believes TK is in the theme park's haunted house, and in a super small but super important moment that I believe is one of our best looks really at what kind of person Matt is, Matt and Garurumon enter this world's haunted house looking for TK. It's kind of nice to see Matt a little freaked out, as he's usually unbreakable in his coolness, and the fact he did this for his brother is extremely sweet. In the flashback, the brothers don't have enough time to ride the merry-go-round that day, and they make a promise together to ride it the next time they visit as a family. The show doesn't explicitly confirm this, but it feels like they never got to ride it because their parents' separation was shortly after this day at the park. It's probably why it's such an important memory to the two of them. It was the last memory they have of before things got weird. That promise to ride the merry-go-round again someday is what reunites Matt and TK back in the digital world after TK had been swallowed up by despair. Matt's affirmation of that promise reaches TK and breaks him out of this trance, and here we see that the hope of not just TK but the other Digimon Opossumon has captured causes a rare Digivolution. After what looks like the start of Pegasusmon's evolution animation, we get a fake out and Angemon returns. All this time, Break the Chain has been playing, which I had been viewing as the Mega Evolution music, so part of me definitely thought we were getting WereGarurumon or possibly even WereGarurumon somehow, though admittedly the stakes and the villain probably wouldn't have required either of those Digimon. But honestly, I actually like the idea of teaming up two characters as a way to keep us on edge for what's coming next Digivolution wise. Obviously, as longtime fans, we know Angemon exists and WereGarurumon exists, but the fact that both brothers had a lead role in this episode, you couldn't tell who was going to have the surprise Digivolution in that final battle. With the brothers united and Angemon reborn, the episode ends pretty much there. It was a nice look into Matt and TK's relationship one-on-one. We've had a lot of Matt talking to the others about TK and vice versa, but not too much of them working together. Even when TK entered the digital world, it was Tai, Matt, and TK before they got split up, so it was really our first big look at how the brothers treat each other when no one else is around. As far as additional backstory goes, we know that Matt lives in the countryside nowadays and TK lives in the city of Tokyo like the other kids. Matt broke this down for Sora and Joe in episode 11. If we take the first end credits animation at face value, we know that Matt has had a hard time adapting or finding friends in the countryside. Unfortunately, we don't yet know where the whole family lived prior to the separation. Did they start in the countryside and TK and one parent moved to Tokyo, or did they start in Tokyo and Matt and one parent moved to the countryside? We've basically got 2 out of 3 puzzle pieces, so I'm curious if the show will give us that one final piece, that direct answer to what happened with their family. Will they outright confirm which parent lives with which kid, and if it is in fact a divorce we're dealing with, or will they stay ambiguous this time around? Maybe this time Matt lives with their grandma from the Digimon movie for some reason and there was no separation. Either way, what we know of their relationship is working for me. Matt and TK have this genuine love for each other, but at the end of the day, there's this sad element where I think for Matt, TK really represents a happier, simpler time. When he protects TK, he's also protecting the memories of when they were all together. It's a little tragic, and I feel bad for this kid. Let me know what you think. Is Angemon back for good, and if so, how will Pegasusmon fit in now? Maybe he'll just be used when TK needs a ride, as he's easier to sit on? Let me know in the comments how you think WereGarurumon, who we believe to be Pegasusmon's Mega, will fit into the story now that Angemon is back, which presumably means we can hit Seraphimon without the blockage that is no Angemon. Until next time, thanks again, subscribe if you can, and I'll see you in the next video.